Hey everybody, Tim here with today's episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Season 6, Episode 21, The Reckoning. So I'll be honest, this episode didn't really do it for me that much. It was kind of interesting and it had a great premise, it just got really kind of bogged down. So to boil the whole thing down to its essence, we find a tablet on Bajor, and Sisko is trying to basically decipher what it means because it's like super ancient Bajoran that nobody can really translate. And as they finally start to translate it, it's basically saying like all sorts of bad stuff is about to happen. So Kai Wynn shows up, who Louise Fletcher, I've said over and over again, is the greatest person that everybody loves to hate. And she shows up, and throughout the whole series, she's always like praising the emissary. And she's like, how dare you take this relic away from Bajor without asking for permission? And essentially Sisko's like, bitch, I'm the emissary. Like, what do you want? And it's kind of an interesting conversation. And so he agrees to finally give it back to her, and in like a fit of rage, he ends up destroying it. And it turns out this whole thing is about the prophets who inhabit Major Kira's body, and they are supposed to have this predetermined battle with the path-wraiths, who we've seen once before. And in the meantime, all sorts of bad stuff is happening on Bajor, like earthquakes and just all sorts of craziness. Well, one of the path-wraiths inhabit Jake's body, because Sisko's been trying to evacuate the station, but Jake is still there. And so now we see Kira and Jake, a prophet and a path-wraith, and they basically have to duke it out. And as they're fighting, they like cast Sisko aside. They're like, just out of the way, peasant. And they're fighting each other. And Kai Wynn comes up with the decision to flood the station with a radiation that will send the wormhole aliens out of the way, because they can't be near it. And this is stuff that we've seen before. And Sisko could have done this, but he decided not to. He decided to honor their faith and let this go through, even though it was Jake. And so Kai Wynn decided to flood the station, and it casts the Prophet and the path-wraith out of Deep Space Nine. And she's like, look at me, I saved the station. And Kira's like, all you did was postpone the inevitable. And that's it. That's the whole episode. So, I don't know. I thought this episode had the potential to be really, really good. Like, amazingly good. To see a path-wraith return and fight a prophet. But overall, I don't know. I just felt like it got bogged down, and it was just too long for me. Like, there was too much, like, I don't know. It just didn't work for me. So for those who have seen this one, what did you think? Like, am I completely wrong and just having a bad day here? Was this a great episode? What did you think about the return of the path-wraiths? And just kind of overall, what did you think? Go ahead, let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for everything, and I will see you guys next time for The Valiant.